Yolanda Yvette Adams is an American gospel singer, actress, and host of her own nationally syndicated morning gospel show. You are one of the best-selling gospel artists of all time, having sold many count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million albums worldwide. I'm about to run out of figures, you know. Where are you now? You in Atlanta or where?
I'm actually in LA.
You're in LA. Ah, okay.
LA. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to just give them a little bit more about you, that you're a Houston, Texas native.
Yeah.
Okay. 5-time Grammy Award-winning vocalist. You have 13 contemporary gospel and inspirational music albums. You earned the first American Music Award for Contemporary Gospel Artist and 4 Gospel Music Association Dove Award. Did I say it all? Did I get it out, girl? Because it's a lot.
You got it out. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And remember when I met you, oh my gosh, it had to be like 1989, 1990. We were just about to do Through the Storm album, and you and, oh my gosh, Kathy Hughes was there, Sheba Haley, one of our dear friends. She wasn't managing me at the time, but she was there.
I thought she was managing you.
But it was after. No, it was right after we began the project that she started managing, because she was a part of Lewis's management team, and then Lewis was actually my manager. And then he was like, nah, I'm not going to do this anymore. And she was like, well, me and Yolanda have a connection.
Yeah, so y'all were like,
we're going to keep doing this. Yeah. And so that's how she became my manager.
Yeah. I didn't know that, because I think you were sitting on the floor in her basement or something when I saw you.
Exactly. Get my hair braided, remember?
Oh my God, I've come so far. Well, I hope I get a chance to see you soon. But you know, they got us on a tight schedule right now. So, you know, we got to get back to the business of Kingdom Business, that musical drama, epic series. How did you land this role?
Well, you know, there are things that come to you when you're ready, and you know this.
Yes.
You know, if you live your life trying to hustle and connive and do all of this stuff, a lot of stuff is not going to come to you legitimately. But if you just stay working, stay focused, keep doing what you're doing, everything that's supposed to come to you, it comes to you, and it comes to you in such big measure that you can't even figure out. It's like, whoa.
Oh, how did that happen?
So Dr. Holly and Devon Franklin and Kirk Franklin had been working on the series for a while.
Yes.
And they had tried, you know, a few years to make it work, and it wasn't working. And then they finally got the green light from NBC at first to do this. And that's when they called and said, hey, we're going to, we want to audition you for this part. And, you know, in the interim, a lot of stuff happened. And then BET picked it up, and they're like, listen, we have a home. Are you ready? And I'm like, I'm ready if y'all ready. Mm-hmm. And the rest is history. And I love it. I love the cast. The cast is phenomenal. We come to work happy to come to work.
That's good. Yeah.
And there's no craziness. That Tamar was being interviewed, and she was like, listen, I love coming to work, because, you know, Miss Yolanda gonna give you that big old hug, and then that big old smile, and then she gonna tell you everything is gonna be all right. And, you know, and so we have this wonderful camaraderie. And we all said it at the press conference for the show. We all said, man, this is one place that I just love coming back to.
That's great. That's wonderful. And I'm glad Tamar is with you. You know, I'm particular about her also, in her entire family. So this is, okay, what are we expecting from, you know, what's happening there? Why do I care about, you know, your show? What am I going to get out of that?
Oh my gosh, you should care about the show. Number one, it's employing a lot of Black folks.
Oh, it's talking about what's happening to us today.
And it's actually talking about what's happening in the music business, regular life, everybody knows somebody in kingdom business.
Mm-hmm.
And you come in contact with that person, even though, even the folks who may not have gone to church, you've come in contact with somebody who is overbearing and they're trying to make sure that things stay the way that they used to be. But the world is changing.
Mm-hmm.
The world is changing. And if you don't change with the times, you get lost. And kudos, let me just stop here. I know we're talking about kingdom business, but I just want to give you a shout out, Jamie Foster Brown, ma'am, because you have always been the person that we can go to in our community for the true facts. No fabrication or anything like that. You get all the interviews that a whole lot of folks can't get. And then you do the interviews that a whole lot of folks won't do. Because, it's like, look, you and the Bobby Brown interview after all of the stuff that he had gone through, that's still epic in my eyes. We look to you for that. And so you have done so much for our community and for the culture. We just want to say thank you. And so, yeah, it's like if Jamie Foster Brown can take us from the printed page to trying to see what else is going on our computers. I mean, come on now. Everybody needs to take a page out of your book.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's me who's being blessed with you all. I'm in love with Black. You know how I feel about y'all people.
Yeah.
Colored people. I just love me some colored people. I think we're the greatest on earth. I just love y'all. And you give me life and you give life to everyone else. We're the most dominating in terms of, our impact on the world. We're accepted worldwide. There's no other language that is accepted in China, France, everywhere. So the power we have and the power you have is just wonderful. Now you have some additional projects you're working on. Tell me about those.
Oh my gosh, the morning show, the guys and I, we're going to Discovered TV for the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. Mm-hmm. We have a new show lined up, and the good thing about this electronic media now is that people can see it anytime they need it.
Yes.
Because one of the things that you and I both know is, there may be a program, scheduled at a certain time, maybe 7 p.m., Eastern Standard Time. But what happens if that person is up at 3 a.m. and they really need what you say? So that's what I love about that. And our friends at Discovered TV, they are just amazing. They have put so much time and effort and money into what we're doing. And when I tell you, I am so excited about this.
I want to know about the jewelry line. Is there anything I can purchase or anything I would like? Do you have samples there or what?
Child, listen, let me tell you, you know how I feel about you, so you don't have to purchase anything. I'm sending you stuff because, you and I see you have your pearls on today. You and I, we love pearls. We're girly girls and we love dainty, beautiful, gorgeous gems and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to put something out there that people could get that was quality, that didn't break the bank, but you did get it. If you feel good about yourself that day or whatever, you just put on a piece of YA jewelry and,
This is so exciting to see you. You've always been wonderful, open, and just no matter what was happening, you were that girl that you wanted. I love being around you because, it's not, the music industry, all industries have those negative kind of vibes and stuff, but you never gave me that. You never gave it to anyone, actually, as far as I remember. And that voice is still incredible. I'm still trying to swallow that voice. Tell me about your new book, Points of Power. What inspired you to write that book?
Well, the wonderful thing about Points of Power is that it's one of our benchmarks in our show. Okay. And I take just a snippet of something out of the word and I make it so easy for anyone, whether you're a person that's grown up in church or a person that never went to church or never saw church or never even heard of God. I make it so practical that you can apply it to your everyday life with ease.
You have an example of that? Give me an example of that.
Yes, one of the examples is on forgiveness. And I talk about how forgiveness is not for the person who did the offense to you. Forgiveness is really for you, because forgiveness is tied to your emotions. It's tied to your cardiovascular system. It's tied to your bones and your joints. Forgiveness frees you from being decrepit and all of that kind of stuff, because you've got to understand that when you see somebody, when somebody has done something to you, something has happened to them as well. Not that they did what they did to you was right, but you have to give them a little grace too. And so forgiveness is for you to let it go, give it to God, let him handle it. And then you start the process of cleansing yourself, so that doesn't become, festered in your system, because we know that all disease starts from something that we have not dealt with.
Later on, I want to deal with that a little bit more, because one thing that we need in our community right now is good counsel. Yes. We need to know, and we need to teach our children and teach adults how to react to things, and not be so finite in your anger and do something that you're going to regret much later on. So we have much to talk about, but I know you got this Super Friends Praise Fest Saturday, August 13th at the State Farm Arena. Who is to help you minister on this ticket, girl?
Yeah, well, I am so excited. You got Fred Hammond, Erica Campbell, Jacqueline Carr, myself, Ty Tribbett, Marvin Sapp, at least 15 of us whose schedules have come together. Isn't that amazing? To do this wonderful, wonderful concert. And so we're just hoping that everyone will come out to State Farm Arena and come and hang out with us for at least 4 hours, because it's going to be awesome.
Well, Pastor Jamal Bryan is going to be there. What is he going to do? This was one of my favorite pastors. I had to raise him.
Pretty much right down the street, Be-More, right? Well, I think he's going to do a lot of things. He's going to come in and out and MC and, may do a little word for us. You never know. He always has a word. So, you know him. And he's going to come up clean and sharp. So
he's going to be sharp. Right.
Every single time.
Now, you have recent awards. Okay, let me see if I can get them all out. Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame, Gospel Female, you won. Soul Train Music Award, Lady of Soul Award, you won. Tony Awards, Best Original Score, Music and/or Lyrics written for the theater, SpongeBob SquarePants, and what else? Are you happy? Should I ask? Yes. Okay. Yes. What's been the biggest highlight for you, though?
Well, come on. The first biggest highlight is definitely Taylor. She's like the love of my life. So that's always the first thing. And then career-wise, knowing that I started out as a 16-year-old recording with a choir, and now I am 60 years old, still thriving, still doing what I do. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you so much for that. And still being able to do this and go all over the world and show people how cool God is, and that you don't have to be stuck up and crazy and nasty and mean to people when you represent God. You can be a light. You can be, a sweet person. You can be everything that he wants you to be. So I'm just having so much fun. I am just in love with life. I love you. And I thank you for being such an amazing part of my life, because my life wouldn't be what it is without you, because you've put me in your magazines so many times. The fashion thing you did with me, the Q&A you did with me. I mean, and we were everywhere together. So I know
we've always loved one another. And one last thing, could you tell me something that we're raising all these children today?
Yes.
What's a good advice for a parent to deal with all the children have so much coming into them? How does a parent, manage that, navigate that? Any kind of advice at all before we go?
Oh, definitely. For parents, moms and dads, you definitely have to give your child a safe place to come. Mm-hmm. And when you give that child a safe place, you've got to be ready for their answers. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes, it's not the answer that you may want, and it's not the answer that you may think, mm-hmm. but it's their opinion, and you have to validate that and allow them to have it. Now, if it crosses borders and boundaries, then that's when you parent and you say, hey, this is it. Enough is enough. Mm-hmm. But most importantly, I think every child needs to know that they are loved and wanted.
Right.
Because that will take care of everything else. Because they're going to hear that, their eyelashes aren't enough. Their hair is not enough. It's too kinky. It's too straight. It's too this. It's too that. They're going to hear that from folks that are trying to sell them a new, better, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if they have the foundation of they're the greatest, they're the best them that God created, and that there's nobody like them on the earth, and that they came with purpose and destiny, everything else that they hear somebody else say, it may come in, but it won't stick.
What about enhancements and the enhancement that your girls are enhancing their breasts, their bottoms, and trying to change and look a certain way? I mean, there's so much push. I just wonder, how do you manage it as a parent? You're good. You had a good foundation with your child. So I think that you started talking to her as a baby. Mm-hmm. Just, give me some good counsel, some things that you've seen. Or I want good counsel so that we can share information, what worked for us. My kids came out great also.
Yeah, mine too. But here's the thing. Everything that folks are augmenting, we already are. Mm-hmm. And I think with this influx, and because people have been getting plastic surgery since the beginning of time, people have augmented stuff since the beginning of time. They know that Cleopatra used that black stuff on her eyebrows to make it, all that kind of. So enhancements are part of nature. Well, they're not part of nature, but they're part of, the culture. Mm-hmm. When it gets dangerous is when people think that they are not worthy without it.
Okay. How do you guard from that? How do you guard that?
Well, when you're a parent, if your child is between the ages of 6 and 18, they cannot go into a surgeon's office and say, I want so and so and so and so. So if that's happening in those ages, that means that the parent is compliant with that. Okay. And so then the parent has to look at themselves in the mirror and say, okay, why did I get my child's nose done at 16, knowing that by the time she gets 25, she's going to grow out of that nose?
Yes.
Those are the kinds of things. And just being perfectly honest, I don't think that it's a problem after 21. If you start all of that stuff before you turn 21, by the time you get my age, 60, something is not going to be right. Because we still don't know, okay, so the people who don't want the vaccine, but you'll get a BBL, I don't get it.
What's a BBL?
Brazilian butt lift,
okay.
All of that, and you'll get breasts and you'll get all of that. But you won't take the vaccine. I'm not the vaccine.
I never thought about that.
I'm just saying, we don't know what's in a lot of this stuff. So just think about that. And if they are adamant about having the surgeries and all of that kind of stuff, then make them pay for the surgery. If they want all of that stuff, because that stuff is expensive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And let me tell you, my grandmother used to say a bought lesson is better any day than a free one.
A bought lesson is better than a free. I've never heard of that.
Yes. I'm writing this book called My Grandmama Said. I'm gonna have to say it. It is so hilarious because she said some of the craziest stuff. But seriously, when you have to pay your own good money for something, it hits different than if mama and daddy are paying for your new car and mama and daddy are paying for your, Gucci purse or your Gucci watch, blah, 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 blah. It hits differently when you have to do that yourself. Yeah. And so once these young ladies and young men, because everybody's doing, what they're doing, once they have the responsibility of paying for all of this stuff, and then seeing that, okay, you don't go from surgery to being on a poster board. No, there's a recovery time. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes through that. And you and I watch Botched, and Botched has kept me out of a whole bunch of stuff. Because I watch Botched, I'm like, ooh, God.
Well, with you didn't have to have much done to you, Missy.
No, thank God for my daddy and my mom, you know, thank God for them. But I watched it because I'm like, okay, there are people who are hooked on this stuff. Trying to make themselves up, because even the folks on Botched say that these are doctors who do it every day. They say this is not a perfect science. Plastic surgery is not a perfect science. Listen to these statistics. Mm-hmm. We can get you 70 to 80% of what you want to look like.
Mm-hmm. 70 or 80%.
So think about it.
Yeah.
So that little 30 to 20% that, you know, that's lacking will probably be the part that most people are more concerned about than the 70 to 80% of achieving the goal. Right. So do you really want to do that to your body? Because, you know, it traumatizes your body. Your body has to go through this cycle of getting rid of the anesthesia and all of that. And you know me, I'm a science buff, so I've studied all this stuff. Your body has to get rid of the anesthesia, and then the anesthesia may have, you know, done something to your heart or your veins or your lungs or something like that. So it's be really, really careful. If you're 30, 40 years old and you decide to get some surgery, that's your business. But if you are, but if you're younger, I would definitely say just wait until you get to 25. And if you get to 25 and you're still unsatisfied with what you look like or anything like that, by all means, your body has developed more. You can do all of that. But I'm still a little, you know, I'm more of now as far as I'll go is waist training. That's as far as I'll go.
I want you to tell me a little bit about the pandemic. Has it been really rough? Healing is needed all over the land. Tell me what you think, and how can we help? How can you help?
Well, here's the thing I said about the pandemic. When it happened, I just believed that the world was exhausted. The earth itself was just exhausted. It was exhausted from so much hate. It was exhausted from so much racism. It was exhausted from so much excess and so much pollution. And I think the earth was like, I need a reset.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great way of looking at it.
Because, you know, you and I both know we've been around this place long enough to know that viruses and bacteria, it's a part of the natural living cycle.
Right.
And so it's only when when it's a pandemic, that means everybody in the world is affected by it.
That's right. Right.
And so we all had to do, if the earth said, I need a reset, we all had to reset. We all had to sit in our houses and sit with ourselves and see if we liked ourselves.
Do you think that, I'm a little bit nervous about it because now there's different variations of it, and I don't see people wearing masks anymore. That bothers me because I'm all over, and they're going out dancing, they're doing things together just as if it never even happened. Are we disrespectful in terms of what is happening around? We don't care. This is very important to me because I really want especially my nation, to survive.
Yeah. Right. Well, you and I wear masks. I think Amazon, I should have stock in Amazon. As a matter of fact, I should sit by the chairman of the board because I have so many Amazon boxes coming to my house. It's ridiculous. But I'm always wearing a mask because I'm in so many different places. And I respect my body enough that if I'm in the airport, I wear a mask. If I'm at the grocery store, I wear a mask. If I am wherever I am, where there are other people, I respect them enough because I've been in different environments. I respect them enough because I don't want them to get I protect them as well as protect myself. I have a daughter that I am, now she's a woman, but I still want to be able to see my grandkids grow up. So that's why I wear a mask. That's my personal belief, and that's my personal opinion, to protect myself and my friends. Now, the other thing is, we all have known those folks who didn't wear seatbelts in the day. I ain't wearing no seatbelt. I'm too cute to wear a seatbelt, blah, 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 blah. I know several people who said that, and now they can't walk as straight as they used to because they got into an accident. One was literally hanging in the balance of life that I know. And that person still has not gotten full correction of spine and all that kind of stuff, simply because they didn't want to do something they thought was irrelevant. Well, we all have to have car insurance, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Or we can't drive our cars.
Yeah, right.
You know, we all have to have medical insurance, or, you know, it's all kinds of stuff can happen. And so I look at it very practically. How would I want, if I became infected, would I want to infect other people?
Yeah.
So that's why I constantly wear mine, you know, just the level of respect that I have for humanity. And so remember also, there are folks who, I can drink a little, I ain't gonna get drunk, but then now they're alcoholics. Oh, I can smoke a little, I ain't gonna get, I ain't gonna get hooked, now they hooked on all other kinds of, because folks have this, it can happen to everybody else but me attitude. So
I wanted to talk to you some more, but I know we have to talk about, then you had the book Points of Power,
yes.
So how, your radio show reaches many, many souls, and you have the Super Friends Praise Fest Saturday, 13th, and all those wonderful, wonderful other artists that are going to be on that ticket. I just wish I could be down there. I miss you so much. I
miss you too. I do.
And you got that award, Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame. My God, that's Okay, Music Award, Lady of Soul, Tony Award, Best Original Score, written for the theater. I saw that. That was,
oh my gosh. My mom, before she passed away, she said, I really believe that you are going to be one of the first gospel artists to be an EGOT. I said, Mom. She said, yeah, I believe it. And I just think that God is going to... What
EGOT is.
Oh, an EGOT is a person who wins an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony.
Yes, that is.
Yes, all of those awards. So I have the Grammy. I have the Tony nomination. Now I technically have an Oscar. Let me tell you how. Back in the day when you were a part of an Oscar-winning soundtrack, only the producer won.
Really?
And so Prince won for Happy Feet, but myself, Fantasia, Patti LaBelle, Pink, all of us, if it had happened like the last 10 years, we would have an Oscar. So I have a technical Oscar, technically, but I want a legitimate one. And hopefully Kingdom Business will win me this Emmy.
It will.
Yes, I am praying for that because I'm excited.
So I'm upset because I have more time, but you and I can always hang a little bit more.
Oh yes, we can.
Yes, and then share some more stories. So I'm just proud of you. I just have to say that this is Jamie Foster Brown Show. You can come back anytime, and thank you. I want to thank my followers for listening, and they can find me on IG and Facebook. Right.
I love your followers. I appreciate your followers so much. Thank you guys so much. Right. And thank you for loving Jamie the way you love her.
I'll be in touch later on. Let's get through this. And when I just think about the beginnings and now, and you're still exquisite. You still have this inner light that you're not afraid to show it on all. You're like, when Jesus had an inner light, and whatever he had, he gave to others, and we have to do the same. We have to do. Thank you so much for being with me today, my love. Let's stay in touch. God bless you. Tell all my friends on the show, Kirk and all those people.
I will. They are crazy. I definitely will. I love you, Jane.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, dear.